Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 30 NSD. On today's episode, was my music not playing? My music's not on. Here we go. Like, wait a minute. Been music playing, it's not playing. What's going on, everybody? On today's episode, we're going to be talking about three different topics. We got the finals battle pass takes more than 100 hours to finish, and players are arguing that the devs not to make it such a huge time sink in the future. The next topic is Hogwarts Legacy is the first non-FIFA game to top the UK annual charts since Grand Theft Auto 5. And the last one is rumor Xbox developer Direct may include another shadow drop like 2023's Hi-Fi Rush. This is what we're doing on today's show. If you like what we do here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We're here Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till about noon Eastern. We also do uploads. We also do live streams for gameplay in the evenings, Monday through Wednesday. And then we also do a podcast Thursday nights, which is tonight, for the first episode of Generation X Gaming Season 10. So that's what we're doing today. What's going on, Jesse Mac? What's going on, Kylo? Gaming Fire, Travis, Dolphin, Eclipse, Behemoth, Water. What's going on? Good morning, good morning. I want to see something. I'm trying to get you guys... Oh, that's not it. That's not it. I'm trying to get you guys on screen here. And chat's supposed to show up over here, but I think for some reason it's linked to Twitch and not YouTube. So I got to figure out how to capture the screen just for the chat box. There's no way of getting it to be... Except to do... Oh, there it is. There it is. Now, how the hell do I make it smaller? That's way too big of text. Let me see. There we go. There we go. Is that too big? Or is that good? It's like blind person text? Yeah. Well, I know my viewers are older. Go on, Chris. Is that good, or should I make it a little bit smaller? That's a good. Let's see here. Delay. That delay. According to, I thought you were gonna say it. I didn't read who said it first. When you said according to my 7-year-old cousin, I'm ancient. I thought you were gonna say according to my 7-year-old, I'm blind. Like, all right. Now I wanna. You know what? I might take this off. Yeah. And just have that in the background. So, all right. Let me experiment something here. If I shut that off and then turn it back on. Oh, see, it goes back to with no chat. I don't like that. How do I keep that on? Shut down source when not visible. Sorry, chat. I'm trying to get you on the screen with me. I'm trying to get you on the screen with me. All right, now if I shut that off, then turn that back on. There we go. There we go. All right. All right, so now you're literally part of the show. You're on there. That way, when I post this later, you guys are putting stuff in chat and I'm talking, people are like, who's he talking to? Right? Because some people think that when I'm commenting on my breakout videos that I'm saying something, but I'm really just reading what you guys are saying. And they're like, that's a bad take. And I'm like, I was just reading. I was reading. So I want to make sure that you're on screen when I'm actually reading. All right. I don't need to see you right now. I don't need to see you right now. All right, let's start with this first one here. Let's start with the first one. Oh, there's a good video this morning I watched. Oh no, it's Alex created a video talking about piracy and about how games shouldn't cost what they cost. And I've been saying that for years. And I like it because it's in a nice condensed video that he made. I wanted to watch it and like talk over it, but it just launched this morning, and I don't care how big they are or how small they are. I know I'm a small content creator, but I don't want to take someone's brand new video and kind of not let people go watch it. You know what I mean? So I think what we'll do is I'll comment on that like next week. We'll put it into like the show, and then we'll watch it and react to it. Because I liked a lot of the points that he was talking about. Yeah, Clips. Yeah, he made some really good points. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 30 NSG. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Finals Battle Pass. It takes more than 100 hours to finish, and the players are arguing to the devs not to make it such a huge time sink in the future. Hell, that's a really long title. That's a really long title. I like to comment. I like to criticize the title. Can we shorten this just a bit? Like, Final Battle Pass takes more than 100 hours, right? And like, question mark? Something? I don't know. That was a really long title. All right, so let's get into it. Completing the Finals Battle Pass takes a lot of time and energy, and the players are feeling the burn. The Finals enjoyed a hugely successful launch with player numbers reaching 10 million in just 15 days, but as fun as some find the free-to-play shooter, for others, the grind of the progress through the Battle Pass is all too much. Now, we've seen this in the past with other like battle passes and whatnot. It takes too long to go through it, and they adjust and stuff. And I find it kind of funny, right? Because each their own. Each company is starting for the first time, trying to put certain things in games. But if they have their ear to the railroad tracks, you know what I mean? They can figure out that past games before their game came out had the same type of problem. I mean, just off the top of my head, I can think of Halo Infinite. I could think of Call of Duty. I can think, you know what I mean? Sea of Thieves. They all had this like problem where it was too long, not enough in there. But let's continue. The Season 1 Pass, which runs until March 12th, was a total of 96 levels and grants players various cosmetic rewards and currency to spend in game. But as players have discovered, it can take an hour or more to go up a single level. So at around 100 hours in total, it's a huge time sink. Probably takes longer, I would assume, as it gets longer or higher. Over the Final subreddit, players have been vetting their frustration. I don't see how it's sustainable for the game, says CBNT, not the game kind. Battle Pass do not take this long in any of the big games anymore. As the player points out, it adds insult to injury. The game's weekly challenges don't carry over, which they argue makes it impossible to finish unless you've got a heck of a lot of time on your hands. I really hope the devs fix this the next season because I can't see myself buying the Game Pass or the pass again if it stays out as they added. So, also, not a fan. Another person says, who describes battle passes that require 100 or more hours not realistic, and says that they can't become a norm. Instead, they're all and others think that the finals should follow the footsteps of likes Apex Legends, Fortnite, Halo, and which offers passes that are more manageable. Imagine that, like other people saying the exact same thing, because we're not like living behind a rock. We've seen other battle passes in the past, and they've all made these changes. So you get a brand new game coming out, making the exact same mistakes as other players. Now, I understand if financially they look at this and go, well, we want people to play our game, and how do we get people to play our game? Because it's about time. They want people to stay in their game to play, right? They don't want you to play a little bit and go, oh, I'm going to go play something else. They want you in their time. Time is the currency in video games now, okay? The longer you stay in, the more time you have to purchase something in their free-to-play game or whatnot. So as a community, it says we should really push for Halo Infinite type pass, says JMC Dreywolf. You buy it, you get to work towards any time, and if you have multiple battle passes that aren't completed, you can pick which one to go through. Exactly. That's the way it should be, right? Not all opposed, though, to this and the way things currently are, though, as more playtime means better value for money. I'm happy with how it works, and comments, Nathan Korokin says, I wouldn't want to be done with the pass or battle pass in the first month. He also says that, like how it works, it reminds me of those who aren't so keen that it's an optional part of the experience. I like when people say it's an optional part. The optional part is fine if it doesn't expire. But if you pay for the battle pass and you don't have the time to put in it, it's not an optional thing. You paid money for it, and now you want to earn the stuff that you have. And because you put the money up front, you got to put the time in, and you have to sync that time with that money that you spent so you can get the stuff. If it was optional, it would be what the other user said, where it's like Halo, where you buy the battle pass and you take your time with it. If you want it to be 100 hours, fine, let it be 100 hours, but it better not expire, and I can continue working towards it for value, okay? It says battle pass owners aren't the only ones for which the grind is all too real. As recently, the top-ranked player fell asleep during a live stream while trying to maintain the top spot on the finals leaderboard. Well, that's fantastic. As for what's in store for Season 2, well, so far anyone's guess, as the first-person shooter isn't getting content roadmap because developers Embark Studios rather nobly only wants to make promises it can't keep. And we talked about that a couple days ago, and I like that. I hate roadmaps, right? Like, shut up, don't tell us anything until you have something that's official, and then put it out because we know it's coming out. What do you guys think about this? Do you think battle passes should take 100 hours and you pay your money up front, and if you don't finish it, oh well, it's just optional? Or do you feel it should be like the Halo Battle Pass, where you pay the money and you take your time with it? It could be 100 hours, but it never expires. There's no FOMO in it. Let me know in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. These are just a couple of my thoughts. I'd like to hear yours as well. Maybe you'll like some of these other videos that we watch. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one. All right, chat. So, what do you think? What do you think? Eclipse says, I mean, the Battle Pass has 3 months. 100 hours isn't that bad, actually. I don't own a Battle Pass, but I'm just saying. I mean, 100 hours is 100 hours. Doesn't matter if you take 100 hours and break it over 1 month. 3 months, it's 100 hours. Right? The average person doesn't play 100 hours. Okay? Doesn't play 100 hours. Right. And since the game is good, if you love that game, 100 hours isn't much. But 100 hours is 100 hours. What do you mean 100 hours isn't much? That makes no sense, Water. 100 hours is 100 hours. That part I agree on. Battle pass that you pay shouldn't disappear after a season. Right. And I think that's a because what's the problem? Right? If the company put a battle pass out there, okay, if the company put a battle pass out there, what's the problem? If you paid your money up front, you got my money. So if it stays in the game, what's the problem? If they put 100 battle passes, a lot of players will believe the game got boring for them and get 100 battle passes. Yeah, I agree. Battle passes shouldn't disappear. Robert Jones says not expiring would be lovely. I'm at the point where I only buy a pass if I already finished it, or if a new game like Finals I want to support. I'm the same way. I never buy a battle pass unless I already put the time in. So I purchased the what's it called? The Fortnite, because I was playing Lego Fortnite, and I got enough hours, right? I got enough time to get through the actual battle pass, and I completed it, right? It took us less than 2 weeks to do it because we were playing, and it was nowhere near 100 hours. Not much my ass. 100 hours is more than my 2 weeks at work, but that's what I'm saying. 100 hours is 100 hours. I don't understand when you say, "Well, it's not that bad." It's 100 hours. Kylo says, the fact that you have to pay for the battle pass just to grind the game more sucks. They give the option to buy tiers, but if you bought every tier, it's an additional like 80 to 100 bucks. Chris says, that's averaging 1.1 hours a day over 90 days. I can't play any other games. Right. And this is why I'm a component of not buying battle passes. And if you're going to play the game, just play the game, because most of the cosmetics and stuff that you're going to get, if you're just playing the game, you're going to go through it anyway. So why put your money up front? If you enjoy the game, play the game, and then if you get past that point, then you buy it. Dante says, I stopped getting battle passes because I don't want to invest the time to get to the top level, and I'm not paying to get the levels skips either. Right, and I feel like if you invest the time to get there, then you're more likely to spend the money. Or you're more likely to spend the money if you know it doesn't expire. But then there'll be people that just buy battle passes if they don't expire, and they'll have like 10 or 15 battle passes that they spent money on that they still haven't completed yet, right? And they'll have like a backlog of battle passes. That'll be the next problem. There's usually nothing in the passes needed to play the game. Right. Kyle says, still pisses me off. I accidentally unlocked the Diablo 4 battle pass and got to maybe tier 20. Oh, yeah. That was a whole other issue when Diablo came out. Chris says, would anyone in chat recommend Outriders World Slayer Edition? I mean, I liked Outriders. I thought Outriders was a good game. I didn't think it was a fantastic game. I thought it was a good game. If it's on a good price and you get the first game of the DLC, what's the price, Chris? What's the price of it? I would rather be the asshole with 5 uncompleted battle passes. I got to the end of the battle pass for Path of Exile in about 20 hours. The rewards are great, and the grind isn't time gated. Right. Well, here's the thing, right? Path of Exile is I don't play it. I've played it in the past, but I don't play it. But they respect the players. They respect the players. Epic's doing a good job with their battle pass, but then they kind of cheated a little bit more, right? Because they put more extra on top of the battle pass. There's like extra things inside of Fortnite. What's the most annoying battle pass in any BR games for me? It's COD's battle pass. I don't know what their battle pass is. I don't play the game. So what makes that so annoying, Jesse? Like what do they do in Call of Duty that's more annoying than any other battle pass? COD knows what they're doing. If they're with their battle pass, you unlock the new gun for free at level 15 in the pass, and you just want the engagement for every player to get to at least 15 to get the gun, right? Because time is the currency, right? Time is currency. Not for us. Time for them is currency. They're like, how can we keep people in our game so they're not playing other people's games, right? Because this is why they do the stats. 13 million people played this. There's been 1 million guns fired with the SMG. Like, this is why they do stats like that. They're trying to make it seem like the lobbies are full and all of this other stuff. It's falsely trying to make the games seem like they're more crowded than they are. This is why most of the games are in BR games and stuff. We're putting bots in the game because there's not enough people. I mean, there are people playing. But people are like, well, I'm not winning, so they make more servers. They put bots in those servers. The players in that server are smaller, so there's more likely of them winning the actual match, right? Plus, while you're doing all this, you're leveling up the battle pass so you feel good about yourself. That's what COD and Fortnite is doing. A legendary battle pass for $30 with skins that can't be earned in normal battle pass. Right, so basically Fortnite and them have done what Disney has done when we had there was Fast Pass, and then there's Lightning Pass, and now there's Genie Pass, right? So it's like when a certain amount of people had even on the cars on the road, when you had Sun Pass, right? There was the change that you had to go through, and then you got Sun Pass, and then everyone got Sun Pass, and then they made a separate lane for Sun Pass, and you could pay more. It's like, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And then they raised the price because now everyone, and there's nobody that can pay change. Time is Currency. Isn't that a movie with Justin Timberlake? It is. It is. It's actually a pretty good movie, too. On Steam, Outriders World Slayer Edition is 20. Oh, that's 100% worth it. 100% worth it. For both the game and the DLC, $20, worth it. $100% worth it. I don't like how that is. There we go. Yeah, I liked. Remember when we all grinded the beta to get legendaries? Currently on discount on Steam. Yeah, I think it's a good game. It's definitely worth 20. I mean, I paid full price for it. I thought it was worth it. Oh no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I lied. I just remembered. I didn't pay for it. Because right before it came out, it came on Game Pass. Thanks, Game Pass. I didn't get the DLC because at that time I was playing something else that came out like a year later. Division 2 is still best looter shooter? For who? For the masses, Ron? Or are you asking for me? I mean, Division 2 wasn't the best looter shooter for me. I like the way they do the looter and shooting in it. Like, the gameplay aspect, I love playing Destiny more. But I love the systems that they have in Division 2 more. The gameplay, better in Destiny. The systems are better in Division. Yeah, once I got to the end of Outriders, I wasn't a fan of that small section, right? And if you guys watch me, you guys know that all games have this pyramid shape, right? Where you have the most content when you first start and it gets less and less as you go. And I think it should be reversed, where when you start the game, it should have the least amount of content, and as you get bigger into endgame, it should get wider and wider. That's why I didn't like Outriders Endgame, because it was just doing that same stuff over and over for time and whatnot. And that wasn't my cup of tea. But Outriders itself, I liked a lot for the process of going through it. The First Ascendant will be awesome. If the grind is BDO-like. I mean, when I grinded, I unlocked like six characters in the First Ascendant. And I think that's the same way it's going to be for Transformers Reactivate as well. I kind of liked it. It could get boring, but it all depends on what type of person you are. Yeah, I like the First Ascendant. Can't wait for the Division Heartland. I didn't play it. Is that the mobile one, or is that's not the mobile one? That's the free-to-play one, right? I'm not a big fan of that because it's more PvP than anything, is it not? I know it's PvP/PvE or PvEVP, but I'm not a big fan of that. Oh, for sure, water. The first descendant is not gonna. They're gonna crack that down or crank it down. We were leveling up way too fast. If they keep it that way, actually, you know what? I'll reverse that. I think they're gonna keep it. I think they're gonna keep it the same way, and here's why. They're gonna keep putting new characters in, and the characters that you're grinding for, again, because time is currency, right? Or currency is time. And if you're playing the first descendant and you're leveling up each of the characters and unlocking the characters by time syncing yourself in, you're playing the game, they want you to get the characters because they want you to buy the cosmetics for those characters, right? You can grind for them or you can purchase them. So I think they will let you have that speed of getting them. I think it's a good balance. And yet you can still buy stuff. And that's how they'll make the money off of you. I think they will make the where the new champions are the grind. Division Heartland is in beta. Oh, it's for Division 3. Played a bit of Heartland. Didn't exactly entice me. Was using the characters to play instead of your own custom characters. Oh, they have like preset characters? I didn't know they had preset characters. Fortnite needs a Division-style looter mode. I mean, with Fortnite, they could easily put a game mode in, right? They could easily put a game mode in like that. There's, even if the fan base does it, they could do it. Oh, so last night after I was playing Starfield, I got an achievement, right? And when I looked at the achievement, let me look up the achievement real fast on my phone. All right. So the achievement that I saw last night, and I started laughing about this, right? And I brought it up a couple of weeks ago, and then I started thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute. This is a ridiculous one because, okay. So one of the achievements, and I got like literally on the first day. On the first day. I want you to put in this in perspective-wise of all the shit talking that you hear about Starfield and people saying it's a dumb game, it's stupid and stuff. Okay. For all into the Starfield enter space for the first time. Enter space for the first time. Okay. Is 72.22%. So 28% of the people that bought the game, played the game on Game Pass, whatever, never even got into the ship to go to space. Okay? Now, rough numbers. Okay? Rough numbers because let me get this here. We got 28%. of 13 million is 364,000 people, right? Is that? No, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, that's 3.6 million people. Okay, 3.6 million people that never went to space. Out of the 13 million, 3.6 million of them didn't even touch space. Okay, here's another achievement that I thought was pretty funny as well. Let's see here. Where's the other one? This one is mind-boggling. Are you ready for this one, guys? The achievement's called Dust Off. Okay? Reach level 5. Reach level 5. Okay? How many people do you think reached level 5? Now, obviously, there's Steam, there's Game Pass, and then there's, Xbox, but the achievements only count for, I don't think the Steam accounts for that, right? This is only Xbox and PC that get it from Windows or whatnot, right? Now, obviously, when I'm doing the 13 million, that's what we know that played, but we don't know what the actual divvy is, okay? Reach level 5. Okay. Reach level 5 is 44.47%. 44.47. Okay. Okay, so what's... %44 of 13 million. Okay. So 5.7 million people got to level 5 out of 13 million people. 5.7 million people got to level 5 out of the 13 million. That is a ridiculous number. Five whole levels? That's way too much time, right? And you think people want to put 100 hours into a battle pass. They don't even want to put enough time in to get to level 5 in a game. Robert Jones, talking about Starfield. I never made it to level 5. How many hours do you have into the game, Jones? Just so I can see how long it potentially gets to level 5. Because I don't remember. Probably 2. Now, did you purchase the game or did you just play it on Game Pass? Was kind of boring, but I hope it gets better. And I paid full price. Oh, Lord. Jones, you are now a statistic. So now, wait, you paid full price. Did you play it? Did you buy it day 1? Or did you get the 5 days early access and pay the additional $30? You wanted to own it, but you don't like it. Crowded said, what really fun about Starfield is that I think the game would have actually been better if it was nothing more than Fallout in space. What they ended up with just didn't work for many. But it is Fallout in space. You know what the funny part is, Titan? I don't think Jones is rare. I think a lot of people bought it full price. I think a lot of people bought Starfield for full price, and that's what I think a lot of us don't grasp, right? A lot of people bought it because they wanted to own the game. Is there a such thing as hate owning a game? I would say yes. I don't think Jones is the one that's buying it and he's a hater. But I do believe there are people that hate buy. I mean, there's people that hate watch, so why wouldn't there be someone that hate buys? Jones says, I wouldn't say I didn't like it. I haven't put enough time to say like or not yet. Okay. Eclipse says, I think it's curious of Game Pass, or the curse of Game Pass. Like, I love it. But if you look at the Xbox reviews and Lies of P, it's like 2 stars because people usually don't play games like that or try it. Right. Right. See, there's another aspect of why that I don't think a lot of people brought up. You don't have to buy it to leave a review. You can download it on Game Pass and leave a review. No, Starfield is mission-based. Skyrim and Fallout are exploration-based. No, you can literally just explore. Crowded, you saying that shows me that you know nothing about Starfield. Like, literally, I don't have to take any quests. I can literally explore and come across a random NPC give me a quest line to go do something. I can literally go to the job listing board and just be a bounty hunter and take people out. I can literally just go to a board and just ship goods from one place to another. Like, saying that shows me that you know nothing about Starfield. You know about Starfield because of what people have spoken of. I only know what I've seen people say. Most people say that the exploration is pointless and boring. But do you see how fast that goalpost just moved with your statement? You say something, it's false, and then you say, well, I only know what people have been speaking, right? And those people don't know what they're talking about either. Because a lot of people, and apparently 5.7 million are the only people that made it to level 5, so everybody else out of the 13 million potentially that bought the game have not got to level 5, so that would take out, 7 million people. People don't play games, they try games. Gamers play games. Look how many people tried Starfield, but then stopped playing. Water says, I have near 120 hours in the game, and I've only done 5 main missions. Yeah, that's not right. What about the randomly generated planets and quests? That's what I'm saying. Jones says, I would rather own Starfield because of the type of game and length. I don't want to sub and cancel every time I want to play it. I had a hefty gift card. No, I get that, Jones. I get that. I'm not giving you shit because you bought it and didn't play it. What I'm saying is that you bought the game and you haven't tried it. So it's like, why did you buy it? Because you could buy it down the road, right? It's not like it's going to non-exist 2 years from now. Even if they shut down the servers or whatever, right? Or stop selling it. Like, it's digital. You didn't have to buy it day one is what I'm getting at. And you didn't have to buy it, but you wanted to buy it because you wanted to own it because of the size and scope of it. I get that. If Starfield was made by Insomniac, nobody would complain. Yeah, probably. I have like 120 hours in that game, and I think I have completed like 3 storylines. I bet if Bethesda was still its own company and not owned by Microsoft, it'd not be getting slammed on the daily basis. Well, of course, Kylo, because then it also wouldn't be just on Microsoft, right? It would be on all platforms. Crowd says, well, I don't know then. I played Fallout 4 for a handful of hours, and I had to turn it off because I was so bored. I love the early games, though. Can't explain it. But it's okay. It's okay if you don't like a game, right? Maybe Fallout is not for you, right? Lots of people like lots of different games, and that might not be your genre game. And and I'm not pointing you out. This is what a big portion of the gamers have. The hype comes, people talk up a game. Like if I like American Truck Simulator, which I do, okay? It's a very boring trucking game. but there's a core fan base that loves that game. But if I play it and hype it up, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to give it a shot. And they go buy the game, like, fucking boring, right? That game is just not for you. But because I'm excited for it, it becomes like contagious, right? And then if it's a big AAA game, it goes on above and beyond that, because if it's a big AAA game, then everyone gets hyped up and they're like, I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to buy it because everyone's hyping it up. And then they get it and they're like, I don't know what to do. Lots of people are bored with Bethesda games in general because they're not hand-holding. You can literally start in the game and never do a main quest in Skyrim or Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 or Starfield. And you'd be like, where do I have to go? What do I have to do? This game is so big. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm done. It's boring. It's bullshit. It's right. And that's what happens. You would think it because it's not at all platforms that would have also added more to the game. Nah, ATS is elite. I think so. Hype is the biggest double-edged sword in gaming. Fallout 3 and New Vegas were some of my favorite games, though. Okay. But just like your taste buds, they change. And you might not like that type of game anymore. I should have known I outgrew Bethesda. Yeah, there you go. El Dente is saying I should have known that I've outgrew Bethesda games once I didn't finish Fallout 4. But here's another thing, Eclipse, what you're saying, right? You're saying you didn't like Fallout 4, right? And you did like Starfield. You like sci-fi games more than post-apocalyptic games, right? Two different completely type of games. Their settings are completely different. Stealth says, everything's okay. I'm here now. What's going on, Stealth? Happy New Year, man. The main reason I bought my steering wheel was ATS. I gotta try Lawnmower Sim still. I tried Lawnmower Sim, and it was funny. my wife, I was playing it. I was just testing it out, right? I was trying it. It was going because it was on Game Pass, so I was going back and forth and just doing it. She walks in and goes, "What the fuck you doing?" I was like, "I'm playing Lawnmower Simulator." She goes, You're mowing the lawn in a video game? I was like, yeah. She goes, Jesus Christ. And she just walks out. And I was like, maybe she's right. Maybe there's some games that shouldn't be made. I bought an Xbox Series X for Starfield, and now it's a paperweight, like my Switch. I mean, you can sell it. I mean, it's a nice paperweight. A nice paperweight, though. Why? I have a question, though, El Dente. You have a nice computer, don't you? Why did you buy it for Xbox and not just for PC? Gym Simulator. Is that a thing? Is that an actual thing? Wait a minute. Is Gym Simulator an actual thing? Oh my God. Gym Simulator is an actual thing? Oh, you're like a gym owner. You're a gym owner. Okay. I thought like you were just like a guy that's like working out in a gym. I was like, what the hell? I can accept that. Like house flippers or anything else like that. That's fine. Because they said they were making it for Xbox, so I assumed the best experience was going to be on Xbox. Ah, okay. Up next, YouTube Simulator. There actually is a game called YouTube Simulator. It was made by little YouTubers. What do you think they will add or change if they remake Fallout 3? I think they just upgrade the graphics to like Starfield, but apparently everyone thinks the graphics didn't get upgraded, so I don't think they would add much. Right, but they would just change. Well, they wouldn't change the engine, El Dente. They would just use the new engine. Steam Simulator. Buy games and don't play them. Less loading times, more seamless travel in Fallout 3. Yeah, there would still be load screens. There would still be load screens. For sure. So far, continuing playing through Starfield the last 2 days, I'm doing the main story stuff. My biggest complaints about Starfield is where you get your powers from. Like the powers where you go in to get the powers and you have to fly around a freaking room and collect the things, and then you go in the ball and it spins. Like that is terrible. That is the worst. That is the worst part. That's the main story, and there's like 25 different powers. So you're doing that 25 different times. And where I think people look at it and go, this game's trash, is because they just did the main story and they just did that. And they didn't go do the other things, right? I have 167 hours in the game, and I never touched the main campaign. And now I'm doing the main campaign, and I have to say it's not a bad story, okay? But I do like the side stories better, okay? But I think a lot of people don't like the main story because, let's be honest, it's fucking about multiverses and shit, right? And I haven't finished it yet, but so no one come in and, like, be a dick and ruin it. But we're up to a certain point, and I'm like, I can understand why people don't. But I'm in this cool mission right now. We're probably going to finish it tonight after the podcast. So we're going to do GXG tonight, and then I'm going to go back into Starfield and complete that, at least that one mission. You guys told me last night it's like 2 hours long, and I was like, I'll pause. What was the letdown part, Chris? What didn't you like about Starfield? What was the letdown? The overall letdown, you said. Letdown is overall. The second is stealth. Yeah, I just feel like where you collect the powers, like you should be beating like the star, I don't even know if I should say the bad guys. I think you should be beating bad guys, okay? And there's like different bosses and different things. They could have done something good there, and they kind of screwed it up. I would have taken this, okay? You fly around the room, you get the power, and then the wheel opens up, and then you go through a portal, and then you fight a boss, okay? You fight a boss. I would have taken that. That would have been awesome. The fact that there was an NPC with my last name, which isn't common, really got me excited. That's what sold you on the game, Al Dente? The NPC are like, I'm getting this game. I'm getting this game. This game has my last name in it. I'm sold. Travis says, do you think it's fair to saw Starfield suffered from it took us this long to get basically the same game syndrome? No. Because the implement part of you saying it's the same game, it's not. It's a completely different game. And sure, it's Fallout in space, but it's if someone likes fantasy and someone likes sci-fi and someone likes reality, right? There's like these different genres of games. Not every game has to be, just because you liked Fallout doesn't mean you like Skyrim. Just because you like Skyrim doesn't mean you like Fallout. Just because you like Fallout and Skyrim doesn't mean you're going to like Starfield. Right, Sarge. Right? You like fly through, you go through a portal, you got the power, and now you use that power against the boss, right? And then you learn how to use the power. That would have been awesome. But that's not what they fucking did. I just finished playing Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty's seamless transition between building cards, missions, cutscenes, dialogue, etc. I know Cyberpunk was hot trash at first, but it really sets. I understand that, right? But that where you say at the very end there, I know it was hot trash at first, but 3 years later, right? They fixed it. Now just take that same sentence. Not saying that's going to happen to Starfield, but it could. And when it does, we could be saying the same thing. And this is why I don't think it's fair. One, because it's a completely separate game engine, right? And their game engine is so bad, right? CD Projekt Red decided that they were going to drop their engine so they can go play with Unreal Engine. Okay? So they know how hard it was to develop with that, and hence why all the bugs and glitches happened in Cyberpunk 2077. And that's why CD Projekt Red was like, yeah, we should probably change. Now, should should Bethesda do the exact same thing? I'm going to say probably. But the fact that you could still do stuff in this game gives what Starfield, Fallout, Skyrim, because of that engine, you get what you get with Bethesda. And it's unlike any other game. It's the same game as Bethesda games, but it's unlike any other game that's out there. Boss. That brings up enemy variety. Isn't as good as Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Like, people shit on Ubisoft for making the same game every year, but Bethesda takes 5 years' time and makes Bethesda worse. Starfield is just Fallout in space, same avatar as Far Cry. But it's not the same game. I don't understand. It could happen to Starfield. Could go away of Anthem. Only time will tell. Well, the Anthem thing that you're bringing up, Travis, I think is a bad comparison, considering EA forced the game to use a engine that they didn't want to use, which was the Frostbite engine, and they didn't know what Anthem was until 4 years into the cycle, when they showed the trailer at E3 and were like, "That's the game we're gonna make," right? There's a lot other problems there than saying that it could go the way. Like, Bethesda's been around for 30 years. I've not played enough of Starfield's main campaign. I went back to play and finish my Mass Effect games. What do you think it will get realistically added to Starfield to make it a far better game? But why does it have to be a far better game, right? I mean, if we take what critics say for all games, remove the title of Starfield. Everyone takes the official game reviews of Metacritic or whatever else, and it's scored an 86. It's scored an 86. These are facts, okay? User reviews and stuff are subjective, and same with the Metacritic score, subjective based on Metacritic. But Metacritic is the score that the industry uses. Okay. So if it hit an 86 and Cyberpunk hit an 86, why do they have to make it better? If you don't like it, then it's not your type of game, right? And trying to shoehorn you try to like it, right, is not going to change. Now, fundamentally, they could change certain things and make it better seamlessly. Could they get rid of the load screens a little bit? They're only 3 to 5 seconds long. I think the biggest, longest one I think I waited for was 8 seconds. Okay, sure. Could they add a vehicle to the ground so you get around faster? Sure, but then that also makes a lot more problems because then you're getting around the map faster, and then you're gonna hit the boundaries faster, right? Then you'll see people, no, I can't even get my car across, and they'll complain about that. Okay, so I don't think they have to keep adding things to change the fundamental what the game is. I think the game, what it is what it is. That's the game they shot to make, and that's what they made. Now, to make it better, add more story. Different factions, different things come in. Maybe they bring an alien race in. Maybe because it's a multiverse, they bring in a completely different timeline. I mean, I don't know. There's 1,000 things they could do. Starfield can't fix their engine capabilities. I had fun. I played 100 hours, but because I had fun, I don't play games to hate. I play games I play games I like. Like you, I just wasn't next-gen title I wanted. Okay, change it to improve upon Starfield. But improve upon Starfield, if I'm taking it from a perspective of if I'm a game developer going, okay, we got this many people that played the game, we got the core base people that we're playing because they have the numbers, we don't, right? And I'm like, well, how do we get these core player base to keep playing, right? Because it's about time, right? They already made the money. Now it's about the time. Right? They're going to be putting the creation engine or creation kit in. They're going to be, the modders are going to come in. And if a modder left, that's like the biggest modder ever, there's going to be another person that never modded before in their life. They're going to come in and they're going to make something and make a name for themselves. Right? Tissue, pull tissue, next tissue. Okay? So there's going to be people that were famous for Skyrim mods that now people will get famous for Starfield mods. Okay? This game is not going off. It's not going anywhere. Okay? It's going to be around for years and years. Okay? And the memes will be here for years and decades. They fundamentally just add more content. More content. All of a sudden, a new DLC comes out. It's in this quadrant of the system. Maybe a system that you didn't go to before, or you did go to, but you didn't explore all the planets. And now all of a sudden, a settlement happens on one of the planets, and now it's a new story to go over there. People that are playing that game are playing the game because they liked Bethesda's storytelling. Now, Travis doesn't like that, because he doesn't believe they have storytelling. So it's not his type of game. So why would they try to market towards Travis? They wouldn't. They're marketing towards the people that actually play their game. It's exactly the same thing. 30. If people are going to shit on Ubisoft for being the samey, then shit on Bethesda because they're also samey. Doing otherwise, and it don't meant you, I mean, period, is hypocrisy. But that's what I'm saying. Why are people looking at this game as different than any other game? They make certain games. Insomniac made Spider-Man. Is Spider-Man Miles Morales supposed to be different than Spider-Man? Is Spider-Man 2 supposed to be different than Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales? Right? This is a brand new IP. And they're taking everything that they learned from Skyrim, Morrowind, Oblivion, Fallout 76, right? And they're making it into a sci-fi over here. So why wouldn't that be the same? What if it's the same because it is? Right? And again, I could be completely wrong here, but Skyrim and Fallout could be in the same universe. And Starfield could be in the same universe as well. Hence why this art style is the same. Now with the multiverse, they could 100% be connected. Sarge says, I'm trying to understand the fundamental difference in the argument that Starfield is not good because their game engine. But AC game makes the same game in a different time period every 2 years. Every year, I think, isn't it? I think the problem is that the engine feels dated, but couldn't you see that it was dated before you made the purchase? And I'm not saying you personally, Robert, but they gave you a 45-minute long preview program, like preview session of the game. Couldn't you tell that the NPCs, the way they looked? Did you see Starfield has more hours played than Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, but there's a lot of differences there, right? One, didn't Baldur's Gate 3 come out only on one system in the beginning, and then came out later on PlayStation, now Xbox, where Starfield came out on came out on PC and Xbox and whatnot all at the same time. So, there's a difference there. And I don't think there's as many people played or whatever Baldur's Gate 3 in that time frame. So I hate when they bring numbers out like that. And I hate comparison things like that. Oh, to me, that sounds like a fanboy did research half-assed and then posted on Twitter just to make a fact that because they like Starfield and they're like, oh, look, more people played this than this game and everyone loves this game. I think that's just, silly. Let's see. Ubisoft and Bethesda had different marketing hype and fans' expectations. Fan expectations are the problem, not the game itself. That goes for any game. Take Starfield out of it. Fans' expectations are the problem, not the developers making the game. Now, don't get me wrong. Me and Sarge for years talked about Destiny. We're like, oh, the potential. Marvel's Avengers. I was like, oh, the potential. Right? And they just didn't do it. But I still played those games. I was just disappointed that they didn't hit what I thought they should hit. But then again, it's what I thought they should hit, not what they could hit. Like, my expectations were not hit. Well, most people's expectations are not hit. If you bring your expectations down to a normal and not get super hyped up for your expectations, you'll have less frustration. Right? Less expectations is less frustration. Right? And that's not lowering my standards in any way, shape, or form. It's being reality of what is that game looking like? Okay? Right? We did this even back in the day when Ultima Online came out. I was like, you could do anything? Could I be king of the game? And everything, right? Like, I was imagining things that you couldn't do. But man, it would be cool if you could do it, right? And those are the expectations. And if they don't hit those expectations, then you get disappointed, right? And you get frustrated because you don't like something because it didn't hit your expectations. Crowded. Yeah, but Mike, Destiny 2 is releasing episodes. It's going to be totally different. For real this time. Right. No. Right? So the expectations I had after I played Destiny 1, I was like, oh, what they could do with this, and they never hit that mark. So I lowered my expectations and said, you know what, I'm done with this because they're never going to do that. So I'm just done. Oh, for sure, Sarge. I was just using it as an example, like where our brains went, what you could potentially do in that game. There's a skit on an old comedy show called Lowered Expectations Dating. Everyone should adopt that for gaming. Right? I'm not saying that you should lower your expectations and your standards, right? You should still look for standards, but again, in this day and age, for $70 games, $80, $90, $100, $120 games, when a game comes out and shows you trailers, like Skull and Bones is doing now, like Suicide Squad is doing now, don't get caught on the hype train if it's not your type of game. If you've never played a looter shooter before, but all of a sudden you're now interested because it's DC Comics, okay, characters, all of a sudden you're like, dude, I'm gonna jump all in with this because everyone's talking about it, right? You don't have to buy it day one. You don't have to buy it week one. You don't have to buy it month one. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. The game will still be there. And if it does fail, then you saved yourself $70, $80, $100, $120. Right? There's plenty of people that are going to be playing the game, reviews coming out, plenty of stuff for nobody to ever be like, I just didn't know what it was. My expectations, I thought I was going to be this and this, and it was going to... It's on us. It's on the customer. Is Suicide Squad always online? I believe they said yes, but there's also they're implementing, and they haven't announced it yet, was that you could play it solo, and they were working on an offline mode, I believe. I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, so there you go. Travis says at launch, yes, they're gonna add an offline. I don't know if it's at launch or they're adding it after launch. Eclipse says, I mean, nowadays there are so many reviewers to watch and people to stream the game. Like 3 days before it comes out. Most of the time I watch some of the stuff that makes the opinion before you buy. Right. Add offline is sus? Why would that be sus if they add an offline? What's the Soul Frame game? I don't even know what that is, Crowded. What's the Soul Frame game? You know what I think that means, Travis? You know why they're not adding it at launch? Because they don't know what the interest is. They want to see how many people buy the game before they decide to make and put it into launch or after launch. Why not launch? What happened during the delay? I think the delay, they were working on stuff, and then they just said, you know what? Why don't we just work on because there's been talks about they have 1 year content in the pipeline. I'm assuming the 10 months that they got delayed, they were working on the game's done. I think they were working on the content that comes after the game comes out. And I believe that they saw how popular it was and how it worked for them for Hogwarts Legacy. Again, this is my opinion. But Hogwarts Legacy was promoting way before, and then it got delayed because it was supposed to come out in like May of 2022, right? Then they delayed it, and they started promoting it in November, December, January, and then it launched in February. They did the exact same thing with Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was supposed to come out in 2021, 2022. Then they delayed it, right? Or in 2023. In early 2023. And then they said, you know what? Did you see that how the cycle worked for Hogwarts? Why don't we do the same thing? And they went dead quiet. They didn't do anything with Suicide Squads until the end of the year. And then that's when they did the first vid doc, the second vid doc, and now they're going to do a third vid doc within the next couple weeks. And then it comes out on the 30th. I think they literally switched it because of the marketing, and they wanted to push it back towards February because it did so well for Hogwarts. Just my 2 cents. It'd be pretty good if the game was offline mode, especially when the internet connection went down temporarily. Oh, that's true. They might scrap the offline mode if there's no interest. Right. That's just, again, I don't know if that's what they're doing. Just my 2 cents. That's copium. It should launch with it. How is me saying what I said copium? It wasn't going to be an offline mode at all. It was supposed to be no offline mode. It was supposed to be always online. I don't think they planned to ever have an offline until there was demand. Yeah, I don't think they weren't going to do it. Why clean your room if your parents don't tell you to? Right? When mom walks in and says you clean your room, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to clean your room. They had no plans of cleaning their room until it was mentioned. Because nobody wanted to be able to play the game offline when the internet goes down. Their business model was always offline or always online. People still want to own games. Here's the thing, though. Okay, let's say they give us an offline mode. But if they take the servers down, you're done. The game's done regardless. Right? If they decide to stop playing the game, it's done. Now's your chance to play Guardians of the Galaxy. It's free on Epic Game Store this week. I own it. I literally own it. I don't need to play it for free. I own it. I bought it for like $8. I had a chance. I've owned it for over a year. Offline was a staple until they removed it. I think there's a case for very few games to be online only. No, I agree. I don't want my games to be online only. Oh, I thought you're like saying Kylo to me, like, hey, now's your chance. I was like, I already own it, and I didn't play it yet. Then goes and plays Division 2. Yeah, because I'm not interested in playing the game. The difference between Guardians of the Galaxy and Division 2 is I can play with my brother. It had a really good story, Crowded. A lot of people gave shit about it because Guardians of the Galaxy didn't have the characters that people wanted. Their expectations were they were supposed to have, like, Chris Pratt, Guardians of the Galaxy, and not what they gave us, right? What they gave what they made. And so people gave Guardians of the Galaxy shit when it came out, but the actual game itself, the game mechanics, the way you use your heroes, because you can, like, you use one character, but then the powers of the other ones like help you fight. And like NPCs like help you, and then just the story itself. I love Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the best superhero games out there. Reminded me of Mass Effect Combat. Yeah, it got really good. Here, let's go to the critic. Oh, I guess I have to put game. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, or was it just... I guess this is it. Yeah, it got an 80. 80 on PlayStation. 84 on Xbox. PC got a 78. So, but it was a good story, they say. 8.6 favorability. 80. It's trash. Go number 2 here. Yeah, single player action adventure. Yeah. Those 4 points are Xbox people bringing down the PlayStation 5, guarantee it. And with mentalities like that, this is why the shit continues. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 30NSG. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Hogwarts Legacy as the first non-FIFA game to top the UK's annual charts since Grand Theft Auto 5. So, Hogwarts Legacy has the highest-selling physical video game in UK in 2023, ending its FIFA series' 10-year run of dominance. The RPG is set in the Harry Potter universe and the first game to achieve the feat since 2013's Grand Theft Auto 5, reports GamesIndustry.biz. Hogwarts Legacy's strongest platform was PlayStation 5, with PlayStation 4 coming in second, and the third highest selling platform in the game is the Nintendo Switch, which is notable as the Nintendo Switch version of the game was released in November, with the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 versions landing in February and May, respectively. Now, according to GfK data, 12.76 million boxed video games were sold in the UK in 2023, accounting for a drop of nearly 5%. As November, Hogwarts Legacy also tracking an incredibly strong performance in the US, fighting neck and neck with the November's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 for the year's top spot. Hogwarts Legacy takes place around 100 years prior to the events of the famous book series, thrusting players into the role of a new student in Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And the game's original release came in significant controversy surrounding the book of author J.K. Rowling's publicly slated views of transgender rights. Despite performing well, the game is boycotted by Harry Potter fans due to public comments from Rowling's perceived by many of transphobic. But the full breakdown of the situation recommended the article of Glamour. Now, I hate when they go into that. Like, that has nothing to really do with the actual video game. The video game was done very well. It was beloved by over 15 million people. Now, if it didn't have the controversy that it does because of the person that had nothing to do with the actual video game, okay, then this game would have been probably in the running for a lot of things, okay? But because, and again, this is just me saying it, not because it's actual factual, because we won't know if it's actual factual, and there's both sides. I believe that the industry is a bunch of wimps, and they don't want to have any kind of drama, so they're just like, let's just not do anything about it, right? But Hogwarts Legacy was a very fun, very received well game. It was a very popular game, and it sold the best, okay, of all games in 2023, which you can say, well, it came out early in the year, and that's why it sold the most. Well, I think it's because it came out on the old or the new systems first, then it came out on the old systems, and then it came out on the Nintendo Switch, and it sold well across the board on every single system, on PC, on Xbox, on PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch. So, to me, it's just funny for people just to kind of just say, well, nothing innovative about this game, it's just a boring little game, but yet it sold more than any other game in the UK and sold more than any other game in the world this year, and that was just because it was Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts fans, Harry Potter fans, even though they boycotted because of J.K. Rowling's, which is just, people can't distinguish what's reality and not reality, okay? Hogwarts Legacy fans, or I should say Harry Potter fans, are gigantic, right? When you see a new book come out or a new movie come out of the original Harry Potter, it was like fanatics. Okay, fanatics across the entire globe. When they opened up the park here in Orlando, Florida, right, it was packed. You have to see, right? You have to see pictures. It's insane. So, Star Wars fans, Lord of the Rings fans, right, Star Trek fans, Hogwarts fans, or I should say Harry Potter fans, are rampant. So when something comes out as good and as beautiful as this, where they actually can take you and bring you into the world of Harry Potter, okay, inside of Hogwarts. Obviously, it's because it's the most successful game. We don't know if DLC is coming out for it, and we also don't know officially yet, but they said they are working and probably going to make a Hogwarts Legacy 2, and we'll see what happens when that game comes out, because obviously the people that boycotted this one will probably try to boycott that one as well. But I think, in my opinion, it was one of the better games this year. It was in the running for my top game, even though, it wasn't in anyone else's top prospects of games this year. The combat, which I thought was going to be the worst, was probably the best. I love the combat system in this game. I love the story in this game. And I just love the environment and how you explore the game. And I'm not even a Harry Potter fan. So I really liked what they did with this game. I'm glad it's actually getting recognition for what it did or what it sold this year. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Did you like Hogwarts Legacy? Did you not like Hogwarts Legacy? Or did you not even give it the time of day because you're not interested in Hogwarts Legacy? Let me know in the comments section down below. If you like what we do here, please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Check out some of our other videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. So here's yet another game that exceeded basically everyone's expectations, right? Talking about expectations. People's expectations were not wrong about this game. People are like, this is going to be an amazing game. And it was for Harry Potter fans. Now, if you're not a Harry Potter fan and you're just a fan of this type of genre of game, you're like, it's okay. It's an okay game. But this was like the pinnacle. This was the pinnacle fan-made game. These were people that were fans of the game or fans of the series that made a game for the fans. Okay? And everybody else, for some reason, doesn't like it because they're like, it just didn't do anything. But it did everything right for the fans of Harry Potter. Right? You could literally go into the castle, right? And they had such a hard design process because they had to take stuff that was in the movies and that was in the books, and they combined it and made it into something that you could actually walk around in. And they did such a good job with the castle in this. That alone should win awards, okay, for the amount of detail and stuff that they put in and the secret passages and all the other stuff that they've done. So it's crazy to me that this game didn't get as much praise as it did. And the average person, I don't know if it's the gaming puritans that are just like, well, it's not a game, so it's a movie game or something, that they didn't like it. But this game did everything that any Assassin's Creed game would do, or any other type of game of this stature would do. Right? I don't think there was like a lot of load screens in this game, was there? I can't remember if the load screens were, right? Because I know a lot of people give shit for games because they had load screens. I don't remember a lot of load screens in this game. And if you did, it was like really quick. But doors just opened. You walked into the houses and whatnot. I think you went into a load screen when you went into the castle and out of the castle. But other than that, and the dungeons. Like if you went into a dungeon, there was like a load screen. Right? But yeah, overall, it was a fantastic game. And obviously the sales numbers say so. Now, which is different than the sales of like a Call of Duty, right? This is a brand new IP coming out and selling very well. A Call of Duty is just popular because it's popular, right? Not to say all Call of Duty games are bad. I'm just saying that it's an established franchise, so it's popular. So if Hogwarts Legacy 2 comes out and sells just as well as Hogwarts Legacy 1, then we know we have, this is a franchise. Go on, Gilly Ghost. There's a bunch of wimps dirty. They're mad because they feel insulted that Rawlings didn't offer to suck their respective made-up genitalia. I guess that's a way to put it. A way to put it, Travis. Hogwarts Legacy 2 will always boycott again because no life trolls are always on Twitter. And the sequel will sell well because of them as well as it did for the first one. Yeah, I think it will. Because it's a good game. Right, Sarge. The first rendition of this game is amazing for the scale that they did it. And I think they did it right by releasing, because they could have released them all at the same time, and I think they would have had a bad rap. I think the game would have been broke on the older systems, and they didn't want to have a Cyberpunk 2077 on their hands. So they did it right. They released the new version first, and then they released the older versions and the Switch, down the road. Oh, that's right, Titan. I got to go back and play that quest line when it comes into Xbox. I totally forgot about that. Travis says, I want to see the X-Men as Hogwarts Legacy style now. We talked about that when the game came out, Travis. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, but man, I enjoyed it. Now, Water, isn't that interesting, right? You had no expectations, right? Your expectations weren't high for this, and the expectations were down to like normal levels. So when it came out, you were like, this is amazing. Right? Everyone was upset because of Quidditch. Like, there's not Quidditch in it. And they were upset about that. They were expecting Quidditch in the game, and they weren't, so they were disappointed. They gave you flying brooms in the thing. They're like, I can't believe you didn't give Quidditch. Eclipse says, I mean, for me, it wasn't the best game. I would probably give it a 7, maybe an 8, but still liked it a lot. X-Men Legacy with the Avengers co-op, or is the scope too big? The load screens are going through the doors. Right, there wasn't a lot of, like, pause, load screen. I think there was when you went into, like, the castle or something like that, but... I'm willing to bet that the rumored X-Men game by Insomniac is some kind of Hogwarts Legacy. I don't think so. Not the type of games they make, Travis. It's not the type of games they make. I hope the sequel is another school, like either the one mentioned, or is there's no wands, or they go into America one. Yeah, we were talking about that when the game came out. Like, what do you do for a sequel? Do you make it like Spider-Man, where you're in the same... Right? Like, the movies all took place in the castle. You know what I mean? I think you still have to do the castle, but do they expand to another maps? You're doing this map, and you're doing another school. I don't know. Is it too big? They already have the castle made, right? They already have this world made. They can change it, and then they can add another map. The Mass Effect style gameplay was done really well. They could also use some of the current IPs to increase their playability. I want to see wandless magic in the next Hogwarts Legacy game. Be cool. See, we're already setting our expectations, right? We're already setting them. We're like, next game is going to be in the in America, and it's going to be wandless magic. And then if it doesn't happen, you're going to be like, oh, disappointment. No wands in my Harry Potter game is like no lightsabers. The only downfall for Dragon's Dogma is it's not multiplayer, but the AI-controlled teammates or pawns are awesome. Yeah, I watched that gameplay you showed. You put in our Discord. Well, you can't use wandless magic unless you're powerful enough. Unless you're the chosen one. Unless you're the chosen one, Dupless. I mean, it's a video game. I mean, you were pretty powerful in this game because you were the chosen one. Because you got to do stuff other people couldn't do. Hence why you were late coming in and they were like sharing all their knowledge with you and stuff. Well, it is Sarge. In the books and stuff, there are non-magic user, non-wand. They're just doing magic. Just like the Hogwarts Legacy, Padawan's game. Go to school, training the masters, and then go to missions with your masters. Yeah, we talked about that too, right, Jesse? Well, it's funny, Jones. I was just thinking about buying it because it was like $3.49. Like $3.49. And I was like, maybe I should pick it up. Maybe I should pick up Dragon's Dogma. I don't know when I'll play it, but I might put it on the backlog. Yeah, there's schools that teach it. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for whatever they do. I wish they did some DLC. And here's my expectation for Hogwarts 2. Are you ready? There needs to be co-op. Co-op or some sort of mini servers right? Like an online mode where you can go on adventures with each other, sort of like a Fallout 76 type. That's what I would like. Now, if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be like, well, this game's crap. But that's what I would like. Bare minimum, I want to do co-op missions. Co-op missions. Yeah, like you have like a lobby, you know, like in Fortnite, and you like pick the main game, or you could pick like survival, or you can pick like Quidditch. Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, there's a lot more in the back end for that. Hogwarts 2 needs more stuff set in the castle. A lot of stuff in the castle in this one. One of my big complaints, I hated doing this the entire time. You run around the castle, you're just doing this, right? Just doing this because you're trying to find the pages and whatnot. Is the same problem that Batman Arkham had in the back in the days. Beautiful graphics, and then you always went into the X-ray vision mode, so you can see the bad guys through the walls. Yeah, detective mode. Yeah. You're like walking through, you're like, wait, is there bad guys? You go X-ray, you look around. Some developers need to come up with a better mechanic using controllers to engage the player in seamless spell casting without the pause in action, like trigger plus a button need for all Magic games. I think they did a really good job in Hogwarts, the way you did the magic and like parried and stuff. I thought they did a really good job. My biggest problem before the game came out, I was worried about the combat system, and then once I played the game, I was like, man, this is a really good combat system. All right, we got another story. Jesse says, or maybe they just lobby for Hogwarts schools seeing other players if they're asked for other players if they want to join up with them. That'd be cool. Like, yeah. So like Hogwarts school is the hub. So like the Destiny Tower, right? And then as you, or the Division, like in Division, and when you're in the Hogwarts school, you can see other people. And you're like, hey, I need help with this mission. Can you help me? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they go with you, right? I would take that. Where it's like, it's a shared hub in the lobby, in the castle, but then when you leave the castle, it's your own instance. Yeah, I would take that. Because then you have like that Division, you have that Destiny type of esque. There's other games that do that as well. The other one, not Vermintide. What's the one that just came out? Right, where you see other people in the lobby and then you team up, matchmake, and then you go into something. Darktide. That's it. I missed it, but you're saying the castle is the hub? Yeah, Chris. So what Jesse's saying, it'd be interesting if you did like the castle, interior of the castle is the hub, right? Or maybe the whole outer perimeter of the castle, so the castle and the grounds. That way you can play those games on the outside with like people, right? And or once you find someone to go on a mission with, then you leave. Once you leave the grounds, Then you go into your own instance. I mean, it would make sense, right? Because you're a wizard anyway, so you just go into a different world type of thing. Plus, what they could do in Hogwarts Legacy 2, and again, I'm not trying to hype it up that they're going to do this, but because it's Magic, they already had the last map already created. The castle's created. They don't have to recreate that. So development time for that would be super low. They could expand the region and much more, work on something else, and still have the castle in the second one. But because of Magic, you could go through a portal. We did it in this one, where you went to different realms and whatnot. So they could easily go through a different portal, and boom, you're in another game. So do they make a Hogwarts Legacy 2? Or do they just make DLC for Hogwarts? And then people would buy Hogwarts, and then they would buy the DLC. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, they want to sell Hogwarts 2 because they get that initial sales, and that's really big. But if they do it correctly and they have the technology to do it, they could just add DLC, and then you can just go into other realms and whatnot. Right, Water. Like what Destiny's doing, or what Division's doing. They add different things. Just keep Hogwarts, and then add things to Hogwarts. And it's not a live service game, right? It's like Borderlands. Just keep adding DLC. No, give us a full game? But why? Why? Why do you need another full game when they can tell the same stories in the worlds they already built? Right? Why do I have to buy Hogwarts 2, where you're going to have Hogwarts, the map and everything that you already bought in 1 there, and then you're going to buy something else, right? I mean, you're a kid in school. Right. And think how much less time they need to develop stuff if they're just adding stuff to the already world that they already built. They would need a full story again. I think you're better for adding stories to the current game, money-wise. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, for instance, PlayStation already got that mission, right? And now Xbox is getting that mission. They're just going to turn on a switch, and then all of a sudden it's in the world, right? And it's a quest line or whatever that might give you an extra 2 hours of gameplay, whatever, right? So if they just make a chunky DLC that you want to continue buying, there's no difference in that what No Man's Sky is doing, right? And I guess you could say it's a live service game, but they're giving free DLC, right, in No Man's Sky, where I'm saying Hogwarts could sell DLC, like a Borderlands, where it's chunky stuff, and it's in certain sections and quadrants of everything. Let your character's stats, looks, etc. carry over and continue to the story, similar to how Final Fantasy or Mass Effect, right? Something like that. Unless they make, sorry. They'll just do what Sony does and have the same map with the added part of the map and charge full price. They could. And I think they might go that route. Unless they make the school like the girl talked about in the game in Africa. Well, if they did the one in Africa, what I'm saying here is they can still keep if it's Hogwarts 2, they have the map, they have the castle, they have everything. And then you're going to go to the new map. You're going to go through a portal. It's not like you're getting on an airplane and flying over there, right? It's a portal. You go through and then you're there. So why not just take the African storyline of the school and just drop it for this one? Do you know what I'm saying? I think that would be a much better money for them, because they don't have to make a full-fledged game, and they can just add this to the game that they already have. Chris says, literally everyone else is making games, live service games, and battle passes and holding up the games for years to keep on adding. Why not this game? I agree. I've said it. I'm on record before it even came out. I said, I think this game's going to be a live service game. And it turned out not to be. Why not just do regular DLCs or sequence? But that's what I'm saying, Jones. Do it like a Borderlands, right? Same game, but obviously you need to buy the original game, and then you have to buy the DLCs. Because if people don't want to buy it, they don't have to, right? Then they just have the regular game. This is what has ruined comics and movies. The fan foaming to have everything content. Yeah, but I don't care. I mean, I'm okay with the barrier, right? If you see a new thing for No Man's Sky, a new expansion comes out for No Man's Sky, and you don't have No Man's Sky, what do you got to do? The barrier of entry is to buy the game. Oh no. Oh no. God forbid you have to buy a game that's 2 years old and then, or a year old, at not full price for the barrier entry. So, Titan, you're telling me that people on PlayStation that'll buy a $500 system, buy a $500 VR headset, buy a $200 portable game device, pay $70, $80, $90, $100 for video games. If they need to buy Harry Potter or Hogwarts regular game at a discounted price or even full price, they're going to be like, barrier of entry. No, thank you. And the reason I bring up PlayStation is because that was the biggest sale during the actual article that we brought up, right? In the article, in the UK, PlayStation was the number one in, right? PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 coming in second, right? Hogwarts Legacy's strongest platform was PlayStation 5. They weren't prepared for the pressure of so many buying it and wanting more. So, for your honest opinion, do you think Suicide Squads will live up to the games of service expectations? I know the campaign will be great. It's either after the campaign I'm worried about. It hinges on, for me, and I've talked about this in the past. I've talked about this in the past, Water. I'm not playing the game for the live service game, right? I'm playing it for the storytelling that Rocksteady does. And I said, as long as it took this 10 months to work on content after the main game, if they already have it in the pipeline, so when the game comes out, it's not broke, it's not buggy, okay? They can just release the game, everyone's enjoying the game, playing through the story, and then they start releasing the free content that they have for that game. If that content is steady and they have a year's worth of content already in the pipeline, I think the games of service expectations will be hit. If they don't, if they hit a bump and the game itself is broken, buggy, and they're chasing their tails like Marvel's Avengers did, like Crystal Dynamics did, then content's not going to come out in time, and then it's just going to be delayed. People are going to start talking shit about it, and then it's going to fail just like Marvel's Avengers. So hopefully, I believe they will learn, you would hope, they would learn the lessons from people before them, but who knows? I agree, Jones. I think it works for some companies for content drops, like No Man's Sky, like Minecraft. But I like the Borderlands. If you're interested in the game, buy the $20 and whatnot. For the average Joe, It's not a hassle. You can't play the DLC without the base game. I mean, I want to go watch a movie in the theaters, but the barrier of entry is I have to buy a ticket. A sequel comes out. I want to watch the sequel, but the barrier is I have to rent the movie for $3.99 to watch the first one in 2 hours of my time. That's the barrier, right? There's always going to be some sort of barrier. Right? I didn't play Dragon's Dogma. Dragon Dogma 2 is coming out. I don't know if I'm interested in it. I don't have to buy the first one, but because it's a sequel, I'm going to have to... I want to play the first one if I'm going to play the second one. So the barrier of entry for me right now is $3.49. But if I don't buy it for $3.49, then it's $30. If the game is good, people will buy it. Make a game, sell a game. Brinkley says this was the model for the Oasis in Ready Player One. They added planets with new content, and you use portals to move to new areas. Right. Right? And it fits Hogwarts because you could just sell it, portal opens up, and you walk through. Even Borderlands has standalone DLC. You don't need Borderlands 3. Okay. But we're also assuming that we're assuming that the DLC comes out, you need the first model. Maybe they do it that way. Maybe they come out with just the DLC and it's a smaller little chunk of DLC. But if you want more of the backstory, you would have to buy the game anyway. I hope that the end game for Suicide Squad will be more interesting to see what happens with the end game as unlocking new characters with microtransactions. My biggest thought process right now, Jesse, is what happens if they bring in another character. Right? You have your 4 characters. You level up each of those characters separately. Okay? It's not like Gotham Knights where I'm leveling up Harley and then all of a sudden I'm leveling up Boomerang and King Shark and Deadeye or Deadshot at the same time. Whoever you use is who you're leveling. So now the game's been out for 4 months, right? I play through with Harley Quinn. I play through Boomerang. I play through King Shark. I play through them all. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, they bring in the first new character, and it's Peacemaker, let's say. Okay? I'm just making up a character. I don't know if it's Peacemaker. Okay? Peacemaker comes in. Okay? Do I have to play the exact same content again for a 5th time? And then level up? Right? Do I have to do what Destiny did? Where I have to play the exact same story multiple times with my Hunter, my Titan, my Warlock? You know what I mean? Like, that is my biggest thing. Every time they bring in a new character, just like they did for Marvel's Avengers, I had to level that guy up again. But I didn't want to do the content, so I would just find the lowest point, because water finds the lowest point, okay, and just grind that character as fast as I could by doing just certain missions and doing it. Which is not really content, right? If it goes that route, I think that's a problem. Now, if a new character comes in, there's a story behind it, and you're using that character and then leveling up that character if you want to, then that's new to me. That'd be fine. Travis says, crazy idea, but maybe if maybe people should quit looking for games to last 5 years. It could be, like I said, okay, 30, you can just have a channel, but you've got to take 10 years of content. At that point, you're locked into making content, but I never said good content. Wait, Borderlands has DLC that you can play without the base game since when? I didn't play Borderlands 3, so I don't have an answer for you. Borderlands 2, you have to have the base game and then all the other things with it. You do if they want you to spend microtransactions in the game with cosmetics. Well, no, I mean, you don't have to play the same content, Sarge, for the cosmetics. I feel like a female character should be the first DLC character of the Suicide Squad. Why? So it's like a 3-to-2 ratio type of thing? I said over a year ago, I said it'd be cool in the game of Kill the Justice League if I didn't want to kill Flash, okay, or if I didn't want to kill Batman, there's like two endings, right? There's the kill, a capture, and, you know, that's it. A kill and a capture. And if you capture them, you like save them, and then you can become them, right? That would be cool. But there's also an achievement if you kill them. So, like, the replayability would be, like, you have to kill them, and then you also have to save them. I mean, I could say I would hate that because I played Marvel's Heroes, and I had to do that for, like, 30 characters. I know. But that's so, like, prehistoric old. You know what I'm saying, Eclipse? Do you really want to do that? Like, think about this, right? Let's say you don't get Suicide Squad on day one. Let's say you get it 2 years in. Let's say it's a successful game. I know there's a lot of what-ifs, okay? But it's 2 years old, and there's 10 or 12 characters in the game now. Do you really want to level up all those characters? Now, yes, you don't have to level up all those characters. You can only level up the characters that you want to level up. But I'm saying if you really like the game, do you really want to play that story that many times, the same story over and over? Too many boys right now for the squad. I am a little disappointed because I did call that Poison Ivy was in the game, but I'm a little disappointed that Poison Ivy is a little kid. I'm hoping that the little kid then grows like Groot and becomes a playable character. Because I don't know if I want to play a kid if they make her a playable character down the road. Sarge says the promise of content in the games as a service game is non-factual. The content is only if enough people are playing. Otherwise, it just goes away. Make a game, sell a game. Level up all the characters using the exact same content, and not really. Right, and that's what I'm saying, Water. I hope that Suicide Squad doesn't go that route. At least, well, see, that's the problem. Unless there's a variation of, like, if you're, because you can swap any time, though. But if there's a variation of playing Harley and then playing Boomerang through the story, and the story becomes different somehow, but I don't think they're gonna have 4 different stories like that. Kudapapa says, you kill Batman, that's weird because he should have enough time to plan, therefore Batman should be invincible. I mean, sure. Maybe you catch him off guard on something. I don't know. Right, they do mention that. They do mention that she's regenerating. Kill versus capture could work. Well, if they used it, Bioshock Little Sisters model harvest rescue with the different rewards and slash endings. Yeah, that'd be interesting if you could do something like that. Because you know everyone would try to get to Superman as fast as possible and then save Superman, and then you could become Superman. Then Superman's running around with guns. Be like Fortnite. Be weird. There was a moment. I can't say, but I was pretty freaked out a little bit in the beta. That's all I'll say. I was like, what the hell? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying who or what. Just saying there was a part. I was like, what the hell? And I was sold. Jesse Max says, I hope to God if they don't put the Joker in it, not canon of Arkhamverse, but if they put him in there with the he's stupid and strange for them, the Suicide Squad to set Arkham Knight, not counting Gotham Knights. I think look, anyone that died in the past games, I think everyone's free game. I think everyone's game to come back because comic books. I didn't know there was a playable beta. Yeah, but it was NDAs and you can't speak of it. Certain people are saying too much already. Comics deaths don't mean shit. Yeah. All right, let's read this last story. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 30 NSG. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about rumored Xbox developer Direct may include another shadow drop like 2023's Hi-Fi Rush. So according to a recent leak, Microsoft rumor Xbox developer Direct may include another game that will launch after the showcase. So recent rumors indicate that the upcoming Xbox Direct Developers Direct event could also contain the game that is also being prepared to shadow drop either during or after the show, similar to what Microsoft did with Hi-Fi Rush companies looking to make waves in the upcoming release, have resorted to the shadow drop process involving announcing and immediately releasing a game like a remastered version of Quake 2. Not only does this help publicly or marketing efforts, but it also generates excitement from fans who may have not checked out the new experience. While not terribly common, there are plenty of other high-profile examples where launching out of the blue certainly helped, including online free-play experiences like Apex Legends, the finals last year, and Microsoft held a special Developers Direct showcase number of Xbox first-party titles like Redfall, Forza Motorsports, and the surprise show was Hi-Fi Rush, a rhythm-based action game from Tango Gameworks. A studio primarily associated with the horror games like Evil Within and Hi-Fi Rush certainly surprised fans with the bigger announcement was that the game was ready for launch and could be played after the showcase. So the shadow drop for Hi-Fi Rush was certainly a successful one, hoping the game to achieve publicly if may not have been able to under a normal launch. In fact, the Hi-Fi Rush release was so successful that Microsoft appears to be readying another game for the same treatment sometime this month. If a new rumor from a popular Spanish YouTuber named I don't know how you say that, Extravagances, is to be believed, while nothing officially has been mentioned as of yet, it's believed that Microsoft is holding another Xbox Developer Direct sometime in January 2024, with the new presentation set for upcoming first-party titles. Okay, so there's the, it says January 25th, tune in, so we'll see about that. It says, the Xbox Developer Direct show drop rumor details. According to the content creator, they heard the addition of Xbox Showcase for gamers like Hellblade 2 and Towerborn. The showcase would also contain a new shadow drop announcement for a game that will be launching during the show or within coming weeks. The YouTuber isn't certain as of whether or not it's exactly like it was for Hi-Fi Rush, but at very least, what they are hearing is that they're also very similar to the game getting a release date that's very close to the show date, if not during it. The most recent example for a successful shadow drop was earlier in December when online competitive shooter The Finals officially launched during the Game Awards 2023. While the game enjoyed successful beta period, the official release came out of nowhere and giving all players a chance to check it out for excitement it was about. Either way, the shadow drop decision was a good way for The Finals to already have a massive player milestone just 15 days after they officially launched, seeing 10 million players try out and play it. So it says, we hope that you items that we recommend. Oh, no, that's it. So the playing titles. So that's it. So what do we think? Do we think shadow drops work for free-to-play games like Apex Legends, like The Finals, okay? And they worked for, Hi-Fi Rush, but Hi-Fi Rush was also on Game Pass, so that got the buzz for Game Pass. Now, obviously, you can also pay for Hi-Fi Rush as well. But what kind of game do you think? If there is a shadow drop, do we look at this and say that it's a AA type of game, or do we think it's a bigger game that is on the docket that we don't know about or we haven't heard of yet? Okay. Could it be, a Bethesda game that they've been working on that all of a sudden they just shadow drops and we didn't know anything about it? Could it be another AAA game? Or could it be just a smaller game company that has been working on something that no one's heard of and then all of a sudden it just drops? I don't know. I think this is actually a good way. I like this better than when they go, hey, this game's coming out. It'll be out in November. And then when November comes, it gets delayed. It gets pushed back to the next year. I like hearing nothing. And then all of a sudden, showing us a trailer and going, here's a game that's coming out from this studio. And by the way, it's out tonight. You're like, what? That looks sick. And then you play it. Okay. I don't think you could do this for like a smaller game with like crappy graphics or whatnot. I think you get a game that looks visually pleasing, the gameplay looks awesome, and then all of a sudden you drop it, mic drop on the stage. And I think that's what it needs to be. If it comes out and it's like an old Activision game that they're shadow dropping, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like that's a big deal, right? If they come out and shadow drop the old Transformers games onto Game Pass, I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, it's exciting, but I don't think it's a big deal. I want to see a game that comes out that we know nothing about. Nothing, right? Maybe you hear like a leaked rumor 5 seconds before the game comes out, before the award show. But other than that, you hear absolutely nothing and they drop it. I like stuff like this. So hopefully it's something that's like a Hi-Fi Rush type style game where it's not maybe a AAA game, but it's a AA, maybe a live service game, as Robert Jones is saying. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think is going to show up at the Xbox Direct, Developer Direct show? Do you think it's going to be a high-profile game that we know nothing about? Do you think it's going to be a low-profile game that's going to be like a mid-tier AA game? Not mid-tier like play-wise, just like a lower price point game that comes out on Game Pass. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like what we do here, please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like, check out all the rest of our other videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Yeah, so what do you think? Shadow drop, chat. What do you think the shadow drop's going to be? Water says, I think they shadow drop Gears of War. I don't know if they go that big. Do you know what I was thinking, Water? You know what I was thinking? I know it's not going to happen. But the first thing that came to my head, yes, I see you say it in chat. They shadow drop Transformers Reactivate. That's the first thing that came to my head, just because I'm a lover for it, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. The issue going forward with the drops is Hi-Fi Rush was so damn good, it's going to be hard to ever top it. I see what you're saying, Paul. And again, my theme for 2024 is the expectations. I think if people expectations are it's going to be another game like Hi-Fi Rush, I think that could be That's on us, right? Like, it's not a sequel. It's just a separate game that's coming out that could be good, could be bad, whatever. But it's just another game that we didn't know nothing about, and I think that's what's more exciting. It's more exciting to know about there's a game coming out that we know nothing about, and they just shadow drop it, right? Another one that came to my head, and this is why I mentioned Bethesda. I know it's not going to happen, but what about if they came out and said Indiana Jones? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. No, I don't think it's on the lines of like a remaster. I think it would be a new game. A shadow drop like that can't be something that you've already played and they remastered. Travis says nothing. I doubt they shadow drop anything. Chris says shadow drops are perfect for Game Pass. Any other platform wouldn't work. I think shadow drops could be the magic and unleash Game Pass potential. I would be very surprised if it's a AAA game. It's exciting in the world we live in today with all the leaks. That's true. Expecting Transformers Reactivate is solely on Xbox? Is it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the deals they make behind the thing. I just said the first thing that popped in my head. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I think if they did that, you would have a heart attack. I don't know if I would have a heart attack, but I'd be fucking excited. Hi-Fi was the exception, not the rule. Hi-Fi was the exception. I don't know if you could say that based off of one shadow drop. Apex Legends came out as a shadow drop. Wasn't on Xbox. And it was successful. The Finals was a shadow drop. And it was successful. And people knew about the game. And they played it. No, I was saying Transformers isn't solely on Xbox. I understand that. But I don't know what happens behind. That's why I said I don't know what kind of deals they make. Plus, it doesn't matter. Just because it comes out at the Xbox Dev Showcase doesn't mean it's exclusive for Xbox. It just means that they had the marketing rights to announce it. Titan says, Shadow drop GTA 6 a year early. It has to be something that's solely on Xbox? Yeah, but you could play Hi-Fi Rush. You could play Hi-Fi Rush that wasn't on just Xbox. You can play it on PC. I'm just looking at the expected release for Microsoft because of the court docs. They want to release remasters in Oblivion. It would massive success because of how good it was. Well, it could be the Fallout 3 update, right? That could be shadow drop. I don't think you would do it. I don't know. I wouldn't do it if I was Xbox, because if you set the standard of a brand new game like Hi-Fi Rush coming out and it was successful, to waste it on like a Fallout 3 remake to do a shadow drop, I think would be a waste. Rumor Mill says new Double Fine game, KILN, and they're all small boutique studio, so it would work perfect for them. Shadow drops are way better than Sorry Game is delayed another 6 months, right, Quintar? Microsoft owns PC. All right, hold on a second. Because you're saying Hi-Fi Rush came out on Steam the exact same day. So, again, I stand by what I said. Okay, Microsoft has their own Windows thing, and you can get and play off Game Pass. But Hi-Fi Rush launched on Steam the exact same day when they shadow dropped it. So that has nothing to do with Microsoft. Isn't Steam still on Windows? Steam's on all platforms. Doesn't matter if you're using Linux. Doesn't matter if you're using Mac. What are we talking about? I mean, you're really trying to move that goalpost. It doesn't count. Like, what are we talking about? I love these outlandish things some people say. It's like we can't talk about anything one side or the other without hating on it. Shadow Drop's a void review process, but it also might not matter for free game and Game Pass. Right. That's why it worked for Apex Legends. That's why it worked for the finals. And Hi-Fi Rush was a paid game, but you could play it on Game Pass. So if you're upset about it, that, oh, it's a $30 game and, you know, there was no review process. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it 1,000 times more. Majority of players don't give a shit about reviews. Shadow Drop's Blade. Yeah, that's not happening. That shit ain't coming out till 2025. 2026, maybe. Steam's on everything. Microsoft doesn't own Steam. God. Imagine the hate that would get. Akira Baba says, Shadow Drop's game of God of War. Oh, you know what they could Shadow Drop? They could Shadow Drop Final Fantasy 14. We know it's coming to Xbox. They could literally Shadow Drop it on that day. I just thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. Like, we already know about it. It's already out. But it's coming to Xbox, and they just Shadow Drop it. And if they Shadow Drop it, it's on Game Pass. And that would go into what I predicted last year when I said when it comes, it's going to be on Game Pass. And if it comes to Game Pass, everyone's like, well, no, it's a paid subscription model. I'm like, you would just pay your Game Pass subscription. I'm not saying it is coming. I'm just saying that it could come. That could be the Shadow Drop. Thanks, 30, for making me want to play Final Fantasy 14 now. Well, I'll tell you what, if it comes out, oh man, that would be a bad time to come out. Because if it comes out on January 25th, let's say it does drop. It's Final Fantasy 14. I'll be like, 5 days from now, I'm playing Suicide Squad. I can't put that much time in. Is it a Shadow Drop if we know it's coming? Yeah, we knew that the finals was coming, and that's a Shadow Drop because of release. You don't know when the release date is. So what I'm saying is, the Final Fantasy 14, we know they signed a deal, but we have no idea when it's coming. All of a sudden, they're like, hey, by the way, boom. That would be a Shadow Drop. That's what I just said, Sarge. Final Fantasy 14 is the online. Yeah, it's gonna suck if they do that, because I have 500 hours on PC with Final Fantasy 14. If they put the sub with Game Pass included, hope I can use my old account. I think they are gonna do that. Final Fantasy 14 beta is this month. When does it come out? When's the beta? The beta, did they announce the actual full beta, Stealth and Paul? Mid-January to February. Would that still be considered? I mean, it's an open beta. Would that still be considered a shadow drop, or does it have to be a game where you're paying for it? The Final Fantasy XIV Xbox Series X open beta test is scheduled to begin mid-January to February. Hopefully, crossplay to PC and PS. You know what I'm saying? Like, technically, they did a shadow drop with Grounded back in the day, but they don't consider it a shadow drop because it wasn't released. It was released in an early preview program. I didn't know about the Final Fantasy XIV. It just popped in my head. Supposedly it's January 25th is what it says on the leaked doc, or on the guy's Twitter account, which is a Thursday, the last Thursday of the month. I don't know, just a pop in my head. It could be the Double Fine one. So if they're doing the open beta, how they getting the... If it's an open beta, no one's paying for it, right? They're just letting it in. Everyone can come in. I think they put it on Game Pass. I'm sticking by my MMO prediction of what Xbox is going to do once they bring WoW on, and then once they bring Final Fantasy fully launched, it's going to be included into the Game Pass subscription, because they want to get that number up to 100 million, and the way you do that is bringing MMOs. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online's there. Do the same thing. That'd be a surprise. I would hate the timing though if it is. If it's just the open beta coming out and whatever. But like I said, I'm going hard on Suicide Squad when it comes out on the 30th. So I don't think they would jack the price up, Titan. I don't think they would jack the price up. I think they would use it because if the people are just playing World of Warcraft, let's just say, I don't know how many people are playing World of Warcraft right now. What's the constant? Let's see. Right now, daily players is 3.81 million. Right? That's the daily. Total players is 133.59 million. And obviously I'm probably in that, and I haven't played in a decade. Right? But if they can get any kind of player base, if it's Final Fantasy XIV, if it's World of Warcraft, and they can bring them into Game Pass for that same price. Now, I don't think World of Warcraft comes on the console right away. I think it comes on PC Game Pass first. And the reason I think this is because they want people to come over and go, look, if you're part of Battle.net and you're paying this much for World of Warcraft, we're gonna convert Battle.net and we're moving it into Game Pass, PC Game Pass. So if you're paying $15 a month for WoW, you're gonna pay $17 now, and you have access to all of Game Pass games plus World of Warcraft. Okay, that would jack up the number of Game Pass users, right? And you as a player don't have to go to the Battle.net anymore. You would just play through Game Pass. Again, this is just my speculation. I don't know if this is happening. This is just what I think they're going to do to get that number of Game Pass memberships up. I don't think they're going to raise the price, though. I don't think they're going to raise the price because all those people that don't have Game Pass and they come to play WoW on Game Pass, they're paying additional $2 more than they're paying now. Okay? And you have an influx. You don't need to raise the price until you get to your saturation point. Well, if they're trying to get to 100 million, they won't raise the price until they hit or get close to that 100 million, and then that's when they'll do it. That's why Netflix does what they do, because their saturation point is there, and they're like, well, how do we get more money? Well, we got to crack down on people using, right? So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think they make the deals that they're making to get MMOs like Final Fantasy 14 onto Xbox, okay, if they're not going to include it into Game Pass, because microtransactions are going to happen. They'll take that percentage of the people that are playing that, and that raises the membership account of Game Pass to get them close to the 100 million by 2030. I don't know. They do it already with Elder Scrolls Online. And you don't have to pay for a monthly subscription. You're paying for Game Pass. So there's all these games, and you're playing Elder Scrolls. If you're just playing Elder Scrolls, you could pay an additional $15 to get the extra bags and whatnot. And I think that's the way they go with those types of games. Well, Final Fantasy 14 has a free trial that lasts 2 expansions. So you can play it for free until you're done. And then those 2 expansions, which is like $70, I think. Right, so they'll do some sort of thing, Eclipse, where they want more storage, like they do in Elder Scrolls. Keep all your stuff. Be interesting if they added it to Game Pass Ultimate and eliminate the need for separate subs. I think that's what they're going to do, Brinkley. Why would you spend $60 million, $69 million, okay, on a company to own that IP and keep it separate when you're trying to grow this base of Game Pass? Why would you keep it separate on Battle.net when you can combine them? Didn't Final Fantasy 14 initially have a single-player story aspect? And was that, or was that a different one? Nope, it has a single-player. I think I can't touch WoW in like 12 years. Yeah, I haven't touched it in over a decade. I think that would be a massive gateway, bro. If Microsoft allowed Final Fantasy and WoW on Game Pass at the same time, they would use the high-end monthly Game Pass to include those MMOs people would bite. Would be crazy. Yeah, how do you grow it though? Right? It's pretty much a single-player MMO. You can pretty much do everything single-player, even at the dungeons now. You have NPCs with you, and you do the dungeons. 30 predictions. Yep. We'll see if it comes true. They've been talking about that for years, though, to get to consoles. For Star Wars, Papa? I don't know. I don't know if they'll do it. But if they do, they would put it on EA Play, and EA Play is part of Ultimate. You know what I mean? Single player in Final Fantasy 14 is one of the best single player stories in the MMO. I'll have to pin this one to remember when I talked about it. How else will Xbox get to 100 million subscribers? How would Xbox Game Pass get to 100 million subscribers if they didn't bring in other entities that they purchased and bring them in? What other ways are they going to do it? The easiest is transplanting them over. And the best part is they don't even have to say, hey, you got to move over. They just give you a date, right? And I'm not saying they're doing this for a shadow drop or anything. I'm just saying down the line, all they have to do is go, now that Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard, by the end of this year, December 2024, Battle.net will be incorporated into Game Pass Ultimate. Right? And everybody that wants to keep playing World of Warcraft, everyone that wants to keep playing World of Warcraft would have to just pay and move over. Would be a slow going without them. First party not winning the battle. Yeah. You're not bringing 100 million people over for the next Halo or the Gears. But you bring in MMOs You sign deals for future games that come up. And with the price increase of video games going up to $100 potentially, that looks really good for Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and Amazon Luna. Right. All right. Tonight, me and Sarge are back for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week. And we rant along the way. So make sure you guys tune in tonight, 8 p.m., Season 10 of GXG. We got plenty of things to talk about that I've talked about on this show, talked about earlier this week, talked about for 2 weeks. We'll talk about a bunch of different things. We might even talk about things I've already just talked about, but we'll get Sarge's point of view on it and go back and forth with that as well. Sarge says, but the price increase is exactly why people are looking at subscriptions now. Yes. Make the problem, sell the solution. Right? I said this like 2 years ago. With if video games go up, okay, if they go up in price, who wins? PlayStation Plus wins. If PlayStation itself doesn't win as much because they don't put day and date, right? They don't put day and date. So if the next Call of Duty comes out, it's $100. Okay, where are you gonna get it? You gonna get it on Sony PlayStation, or are you gonna get it on Game Pass? They're literally pricing themselves out of the market. Sure, you'll get people to buy the $100 game. There'll always be people that buy the $100 game. Okay? Because they're like, I want to pay for the developers, even though they don't understand how the developers get paid, because they get paid ahead of time. They're not getting paid because you paid $100. Like, okay, Sarge paid $100. Here's your cut of it, Timmy. Right? That's not how it works. COD's doing Warzone? No, what I'm saying, the next rendition of Call of Duty, right? Titan, if it comes out, it's $100 for the campaign or whatever it is, right? They're charging you $70 now, $80, $90 for the deluxe edition or whatever, and then there's Warzone. But what I'm saying is, whatever that next game is that comes out, it's $100. You gonna pay it, or you gonna wait for the streaming service? The problem with Sony is they don't put day and date on PlayStation Plus, right? The $100 video game brings people to go, you know what? I'm going to get the subscription service on PlayStation Plus. But the benefit of Xbox, the day and date on Game Pass, is brand new game comes out. Why am I going to pay $100 on this system when I could just play it on that system? And you don't need a console. You have a television set, you got a PC, you can just go play it. $100 or $11? $100 or $18? They can incentivize Ultimate with free items and live service and sub games. Yeah. Think about this. If you're a World of Warcraft player, right, and you're paying $15, what is it, $15? Is it $15? I think it's $15. I haven't played, again, over a decade. I think it's like $15 to play World of Warcraft. Okay? If I'm a person that's playing $15 a month for just one game a month, and now it moves over, and I pay the exact same price, well, it would have to go up to 17 because Ultimate, right? If it's only on the Ultimate plan. So it's all on PC only. Okay? I'm paying $2 more, and I'm getting access to all these other games. That's a hell of a deal. That's a hell of a deal. I don't think you're going to see people switch a ton of consoles. I think you're just going to... Cause again, you don't need a console to play Game Pass. Right? I don't think you're going to see a lot of people buy an Xbox to play the games. I think they're just going to play on their PC or play it through their television set. Because the more we go, the more it becomes the standard. Paul says, when Game Pass starts having free skins for Diablo, Overwatch, WoW, COD, and sub count is going to spike. Yeah. Yeah. COD crowd would buy consoles, and that's the thing to do. Right. what did they say? 2 million people on PlayStation just buy the console to play Call of Duty only? Just playing Call of Duty. It'll take a number of big and successful games to restart shifting people from PlayStation 5. And that's why I haven't brought up people moving over, Reese. I think if they just take the player base that's from World of Warcraft on PC and they just stop the people, the 133 million people paying $15 or whatever it is, right? I don't know if that's the accurate, but let's just say it's 50 mil. Let's just say it's 50 million people paying a monthly active of $15 to Activision Blizzard, right? Microsoft's making that money anyway. Why not just move those people over and then put them on Game Pass? So if you could play COD day and date for $11 per month, it costs $100 on PlayStation, the move is inevitable. Right, or they sign a deal for day and date. Right? What will happen with COD? It'll be free on Game Pass, and you can pay $30 extra to play it 3 to 7 days early. Yeah, something like that. I can see that happening. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. We pay less for less people are buying hard copies, right? They're all going digital. More things are going into the cloud. Microsoft spent $70 billion. They're not just going to sit there and go, yeah, just keep playing on Blizzard's launcher. That's not happening. That's not happening. I don't think Microsoft wants to steal PlayStation players. They want 3 billion mobile game players. Right, Brinkley. And that's what I'm saying. This whole conversation, I've never said they're going to steal from PlayStation. I said they're trying to get the PlayStation crowd to just come over and give that increase of Game Pass from those people. You don't need to try to get the 200 million people from PlayStation to come over to Xbox. You just got to get that core groups that play on PC and mobile to come on over and pay that $11 to $17 if you're playing wherever to come to Game Pass, right? There's overlap. People that own a PlayStation own an Xbox, that own a Switch, right? But that's a small group. And Phil said it's not about switching people over. They're not going to get people to switch over. But if you literally stop people from paying this site to pay for this site, it's the same company. They're both making the money, but there's 100 million users over on Blizzard. Like, you know what? I'm going to look that up. How many users does Battle.net have? All right, so this is, I don't know how accurate this is. It says right now, Blizzard has 26 million monthly active users. Right? 26 monthly active users. Now, that doesn't mean they're all paying, but that's 26 million people that are actively playing. Using their if it's Overwatch, if it's World of Warcraft, whatever it is, right? If they just take that whole process, 26 million people, and boom, gulp it up into Game Pass, all of a sudden, now you go from whatever the last number we had was 25 million, 30 million, and boom, now you're up to 45 to 50 mil. Just by moving. Just by moving that group. $30 to play a game early. Fucking crazy. I want to see COD free on Game Pass. Seems like a dream right now. They'll always give you items also. I don't if with Starfield, you also get the DLC when it drops. Right. You're not paying $30 to get the 5 days early access. You're paying $30 for the DLC, which is $30, and you also get the 5 days early access. The question is, does Microsoft want to move those COD players over, converting game buyers to subs? Would that be considered a win? I don't know about the Call of Duty space, Reese. This is why I was bringing up the MMOs. This is why I was bringing up Activision with the WoW and bringing it to Ultimate and not really bringing the COD to, obviously COD is going to be on Game Pass. They're not trying to steal, but steal is inevitable if Sony keeps jacking their prices. Well, right, but even Xbox would jack their prices as well, right? Xbox would raise their prices as well for a video game because the standard would be $100, so the game would be $100 as well. And that would just push people more to Game Pass. So, like, why would I pay Gears? Why would I pay $100 for Gears, the next Gears, when I can just play it on Game Pass? Blizzard put their games on Steam, so the numbers will keep dropping now. Right. They can also offer closed betas for Game Pass subscribers only. We've talked about this in the past, frankly. Like, they could have different, like they have the preview program on Xbox, right? Like, you could play, we played Grounded, and I played Sea of Thieves and all these other things way ahead before the games came out. And that could be a thing now with, if you're an Ultimate member, you get to play games early. Like access or alpha, beta, early access. Everyone you move from Sony systems saves you 30% fee. So yeah, moving does make sense long term. Yeah, but at the same time, they're making money now off Activision across all the platforms. But yeah, they're saving the 30%. I mean, yeah, they would be making more money if they convert those over. But at the same time, they make deals and Sony pays up front to get certain marketing deals and certain things. So they're making that money. Doesn't it make sense? Right? They might be losing 30 cents on that player, but they also made, it's not really 30 cents anymore. Marketing and just the more money they're making from them anyway. They weren't making that before. 70%, I mean, is going to Sony, but 30% is going to... Oh, wait, no, it's reverse, isn't it? I'm confused right now. Is the 70%... Oh, it's a 30% cut. Yeah, they get 70. Microsoft gets 70. PlayStation gets the 30. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Sony wants to get more of the pie, but, it's not what it is anymore. Be interested to see what they do with the Shadow Drop. I think it might be Final Fantasy, or it could be the Double Fine that you guys said, or it could be a Gambit. Nobody knows. All right, that's all the stories we had today. All right, it's 12:40. We avowed Shadow Drop? Maybe. That might be a good one for them if they do that. That might be a good one if they do that, Kylo. I know you're just throwing it out there, but that might be a good one. I think when Sony goes the $100 route, they go day and date on PlayStation Plus. Gears Remaster Collection would be sweet. I just don't think they do. Like, I don't think they'll drop like the Fallout 3 update, upgrade, or like something like that. I just feel like the shadow drop is just something new. Now, you could argue that the Final Fantasy 14 is not new, but it's also never been on Xbox before. Yeah, see, I don't think that Leaked Oblivion would be a remastered Shadow Drop either. Like if we're talking about the quality of like Hi-Fi Rush, I don't think it would be a remaster or a remake or refurbished type of thing. I think it would be a new game that we don't know about that drops. All right, that's gonna do it for me today. I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you didn't like it, hit that unlike or dislike button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And if you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do live streams Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. We're almost at 1 o'clock today. We do uploads. We also do live gameplay streams Monday through Wednesdays from 8 p.m. to about midnight. We also do a podcast Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern called Generation X Gaming. Season 10 starts tonight, so make sure you come out tonight. So lots of different content on this channel. Appreciate it very much. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Feels right when it's wrong. I've stayed here too long, but something brings me back to you. I swear we belong. I'm still